at the time it was put up. This artwork needs restoration, but it's not part of this bond package. But this bond package will be doing the exterior cleaning. All the doors will be redone. Windows will be repainted back to its original color.
Wow, I mean that's really exciting to me. You know, I think that you go around town and people can be really flippant and say, "Oh, Dallas doesn't have any history. We tear it all down," or whatever. So just hearing that it's going to be restored to this former glory is exciting to me. Tell us a little bit more about your favorite parts of the collection. You say you have 3 million pieces.
Right.
Talk to us about some more of these significant pieces. You say the Santa Ana battle flag. What else?
Stuff that pertained to Dallas. So, Mr. Patton was like the first African American principal, I guess, head of DISD here in Dallas. Mm-hmm. We have all his papers. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that you just don't hear about. I mean, Dallas is not that old of a town, relatively speaking. We're talking, 1840s, early 1840s. But a lot happened, I guess, in the late 1800s, early 1900s that, prompted Mr. George Dealey to start the Historical Society. Mm-hmm. Because back in 1922, he said, a lot of our city founders are starting to pass away, so we need to try to keep that history. So he formed a Historical Society, and through the years, we've, things we collected, things like women's garment dresses. We have a whole collection of dresses. As I mentioned with Braniff Airlines, we have their whole collection of the flight attendant outfits, from made by Pucci, from the hats to the garments to the shoes, the whole deal. Braniff was a Dallas-based airline. The goal is to try to start collecting again. And one of the things I've got coming that we haven't really announced. I guess I'm announcing it today on this podcast nationally. Breaking news is that we've acquired the largest diorama of the Alamo ever made.
Wow.
It is 24 feet by 14 feet. And when the South Texas room gets finished with the renovation and we open it back up, this Alamo diorama will live permanently in that room.
Outstanding.
And this is the whole you can see the whole battle all at one time. You can probably spend 2-3 hours just staring at it. There's over 2,000 handmade figures on this thing. Not two of them are alike.
Wow. You've been working on this before you became the executive director, weren't you? I mean, you've been working on this for a minute.
I worked on it right after I got here.
Yeah, okay.
So it's been almost a year. The gentleman that made this diorama made it for the Alamo. Mm-hmm. There seems to be some issues down there, and he decided that he was going to go ahead and throw it away. Mm. And he's spent 18 years of his life, over $500,000, putting this thing together, and he was just going to throw it away. And some of his buddies said, no, there is a place in Texas for it. Now, in our main hall, the Hall of Heroes at the Hall of State, we have all the figures from the Alamo. We've got Sam Houston's statue. We've got Travis's statue. So we've got the statues of all the big guys that were at the Alamo. So this would fit perfectly with our collection. So we went out and got it, and there's this group called the Alamo Society, and most of the members have found out about this. So people are starting to call us, wanting to give us Alamo-related artifacts. So hopefully we'll turn that South Texas room into the largest exhibit of Alamo, the Battle of Alamo history anywhere, including the Alamo in San Antonio.
This is Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. Shawn, I could talk for hours with Karl, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk a little bit more about his vision for the Dallas Historical Society. Stick with us.
.180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Deconstructing Dallas, Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. Shawn, I'm so excited to be joined today by Karl Chiao. He's the executive director of the Dallas Historical Society. Karl, we were talking before the break about some of the exciting things going on, but I wanted to know about your vision. You're about a year into your tenure as executive director. Give us the 5-year plan. Tell us about your vision for the organization.
Well, so having stepped in for a year, we're on our 97th birthday. Uh-huh. And there was a time in the probably 70s, 80s, this was the organization to be in. And we've kind of lost a little bit of that over the years. And so my goal is to get us to our 100th anniversary. So that'll be 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. And I want us to be back at that same level again, where everybody in town knows exactly who the Dallas Historical Society is. They know what the Hall of State is, and they come down to Fair Park. We've got a new private group running Fair Park, as you know, and so they're doing a lot of marketing for us, Spectra. But the goal is to get the Dallas Historical Society back to what it was 70s, 80s, to where it was the preeminent, social society, historical group out there. And I figured 3 years is a good amount of time to get that done.
Karl, we had a really good, talking about bringing people together, we had a really good event last week where we got a sneak peek of the exhibit that's going to be at the Hall of State during the state fair. And so our organization does host an exhibit each year. I don't know if people just come in and think it's a great place to go get shade or not, but each year we do have an exhibit, and this year it's the Texas Cinema exhibit, which I have to say, and I'm going to let you talk about it, but what I will say, it was fantastic when we got a sneak peek last year. So can you talk about this year's exhibit that's going to be at the Hall of State throughout the fair, the Texas Cinema exhibit?
Absolutely, Shawn. So every year the State Fair gives us a kind of a theme, and this year it's Texas Cinema. So what we've done is we're focusing on Texas filmmakers, films shot in Texas, and also actors and actresses that were born in Texas. That's kind of the exhibit. So, when you talk about Texas filmmakers, you're talking, Richard Linklater. Mm-hmm. You're talking about Wes Anderson, even, Tex Avery, who's an award-winning illustration artist. It's done a lot of cartoons. When you talk about people born in Texas, we have this one thing up on the main floor where we've got pictures just, flashing of people that were born in Texas. So there's about 300 or 400 actors and actresses, and it says where they're born, and you wouldn't know it, but like Steve Martin was born in Waco, and Carol Burnett was born in San Antonio. So you could sit there and just stare at that for hours. What we've done is we've made it very interactive this year for this exhibit. We also have a lot of photo opportunities, so you can actually, we've got one wall where we've got King of the Hill, where you can get your picture taken with him. We've got
I chose the Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, and we've got Matthew McConaughey on Dazed and Confused, where he's standing outside of the Emporium. We've recreated that background with Matthew standing there, so you can get a picture with him. We do have a red carpet deal where we have about 30 actors and actresses born in Texas, and you can kind of stand in front of it like a red carpet and get your picture taken there. And then as far as films made in Texas, we partnered up with the Dallas Film Society, and they gave us a 30-minute loop, a reel to play downstairs in our auditorium. And this 30-minute loop is every film filmed in Texas up till about 2011, 2012. But what it does is like a 10-second clip. It shows you the title of the film, the year it was made, and which cities in Texas it was filmed in. And you can sit there, and it's you can be there for 5 minutes, you can be there for 30 minutes watching the whole thing. So it's extremely entertaining, and it's interesting to find out how many films were filmed in Waxahachie or, Denton, Texas, or just, Marfa. I mean, films that you never thought would have anything to do with Texas, but were filmed here.
RoboCop.
Right?
There's a section of RoboCop. There's a whole section so in the main exhibit, we have a section on Alamo films, or films filmed at the Alamo. And we've got Pee Wee Herman's bike up there, so that's something you can get a picture with. Once again, you don't think of that as Texas, but it's Pee Wee riding his bike to the Alamo.
You do think about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
we do have a horror section. We have a section on what they call race films. Mm-hmm. So Dallas was kind of the place where a lot of the African American films were original films started filming here in Dallas. So we have a whole section on that, just kind of giving you some background on some of the producers, directors, and
And I don't know if you met one of the ladies that was there that night, but her uncle was one of the people that was featured in that exhibit.
Oh,
and
really?
they drove up from Corsicana in the African-American Texas film exhibit, and her and a friend or a cousin, they drove up just to participate and see their uncle recognized.
That's great, and we have a lot of that every year, people that come out because they're somehow associated with the exhibitry. This year, another one that came out was we have an exhibit on Peter Mayhew, otherwise known as Chewbacca. And Mr. Mayhew claimed Texas as his home. So when the Mayhew Foundation found out we were doing an exhibit, about him, and we've got a whole life-size cutout of him that you can get a picture taken with Chewbacca. They said, we have more stuff to exhibit if you want. And they showed up the night of the event and brought us about 30 or 40 pieces to add to the exhibit.
Oh, wow.
So we went ahead and added that the next day. And so now it's out there.
I will be going by because I don't know if you know, but I am a big Star Wars fan. So it'll be like my first stop when I go to the fair this time.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Karl, we know the fair is a big time for y'all, but you have another event coming up in the not too distant future. Tell us about that.
Correct. So on November 21st, we'll have our annual Awards for Excellence Luncheon.
Okay.
What this does is we celebrate current history makers, people who are making history now. We've been doing this for 39 years, and we celebrate it in different categories. It's such as, arts leadership, education, health and science, humanities, philanthropy, sports leadership. And then we always give out a Jubilee History Maker Award for someone who, kind of goes over more than one category. It's a luncheon. It's at the Fairmont Hotel, like I said, on Thursday, November 21st. And these people will all be there. This year's Jubilee History Maker is actually John McKay. After he retired from WFAA, he basically has been making history, bringing news to people for the last 15, 20 years. I mean, a lot of people grew up with him, and it's probably been more years than that. So we have this great luncheon, and it doesn't always have to be, individuals. For instance, this year's humanities winner is actually Jubilee Park, because of what they've done down here by Fair Park, the way they've transformed the community. They're making history. The Health Science Award winner is actually the Baylor Hospital Uterine Transplant Team, because they've done the first live birth after uterine transplant. So the team is winning the award. So it's a great way to honor people that or groups that are creating history right now, but you might not have heard of. And people that you should know about, because they're really doing great things in Dallas.
Well, I would definitely encourage people to, find out more if you want to become a sponsor or get tickets or get a table.
Please come out to the event. We're working on hopefully trying to get one of our other awardees, company out there. The winner this year for the Sports Leadership Award is Norm Hitchkus. I know he's getting a little older, but he's still hanging in there, and
still doing it every day.
We love to try to figure out if we can get the ticket to come join us for that day. So, yeah, absolutely. We love the more people, the better, because it's a wonderful luncheon, and we make it really tight in terms of time. So we get you in at 11:30. You're out by 1. So if you're anywhere near downtown area, it'd be a great luncheon to attend. It's different than most of the other ones.
So we definitely want to give people a chance to connect with the organization, and I've pretty much put myself in charge from our board for the Pour Yourself in the History events, where we can go out over a cocktail and learn about Texas history. And we've had some really great ones throughout the city. But if folks want to get to know the organization, I know there's a great Instagram feed or website. How can they get in contact with us?
Well, our Instagram handle is @DallasHistory. Our website is dallashistory.org, www.dallashistory.org. And get on there, and we've got all our events listed on there, links where you can become a member. If you join and become a member, then you'll get our emails, and that keeps you up to date on everything that's going on. You can also find us on Facebook at Dallas Historical Society.
That's great. Well, we will look forward to being at the luncheon, checking out the exhibits at the fair, and keeping in touch. I mean, I'm fired up, so you'll be hearing from me again soon, Karl.
Sounds good, Ryan.
Well, we'll be right back after this quick break. This is Deconstructing Dallas.